if you could go ahead and donate to that, we would very super duper appreciate it. It will be awesome to see. We are very excited for it. We'd like to also thank Aisling for sending in $25 with a comment that says, "You all are awesome." And is that ever true? Speaking of awesome, we are ready for our next run, which is going to be Klonoa, Door to Phantomile, any percent, run by AilisNoon. So whenever you're ready, Ailis, we can hand it over to you.
It just has faster loads, but it's the same game, basically. And I'm joined on commentary by Nally. Hi, sorry, I think I might have been muted there. Hi, my name is Ailis. And yeah, we're playing Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. Wonderful game, 2.5D platformer. Loved it as a kid, so decided to learn the speedrun. And I'm being joined by Nally, my lovely commentator. And we actually have a very long cutscene that we can't skip at the start of this run. So what we'll do is we'll get the timer started and then we'll talk about things just during the cutscene instead. So I'm ready for the timer if everyone else is. All good? 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, we're playing on a PlayStation 2. That's important because although the original game is on PlayStation 1, there was a re-release of this game on the PlayStation 2 that was kind of on like a it was kind of on like a compilation disc called the NAM Collection. So this has the fastest loads, which is why we use this. The downside is that the cutscene can't be skipped because it's based on the Japanese version. So the North American and the PAL versions, you can skip this cutscene. In Japanese, you can't. So we have to sit through this, unfortunately. Normally, we'd start time after the cutscene, but because this is a marathon, we've just got to like put it all together. So we can enjoy some cute cutscene. It's an adorable game. I'm still not entirely sure what Klonoa is, though. It's kind of like a mashup between a cat, a dog, and a rabbit, which is pretty cool. Can you skip this in the Wii version, Nally? That's not fair. Okay. It's very it's not very encouraging when you take like one mistake in the first stage and you're like, oh, I should probably reset, but I have to wait 2.5 minutes now. So but yeah, for those not familiar with the game, it's like a 2.5D platformer. So although you're a 2D sprite and you're moving on a 2D plane for the most part, the game world is 3D. And this kind of gives us a lot of like interesting skips that we can do because there's a bunch of like moments where you can kind of interact with stuff that's behind you or in front of you that you shouldn't normally be able to. So we're going to see some skips involving that, which is pretty cool. And yeah, there's more cutscene. Not the most climactic start to a run, but I promise you it gets really interesting. The game kind of breaks open about like 3 stages in and then just gets progressively more kind of unintended, shall we say, like not the intended route through the stages. Yeah, we should be coming up to the start of the run now, once Klonoa wakes up with his adorable little outfit. It's so big. Oh, that's Hupo, by the way. He's an important part of the story, but we don't really have time to talk about him. The story's tragic, by the way. I'll try not to spoil it too much, but the story is very upsetting. So yeah, gameplay. So you'll see immediately we've got these little guys. These are called Moos. There's a bunch of different enemies in the game, but most of them are confronted in the same way, which is that you can grab them. So you don't have like a conventional attack in this game. You just kind of have this grab. So you grab an enemy, and then you can either throw them and use them as a weapon, or you can do a double jump with them. And we're going to see a bunch of strats involving that later on in the run. You'll also see me jumping up slopes where I can. This saves like a minute amount of time. It's like a very, very small amount of time. But it does kind of add up over the run to a few seconds, so it's just worth doing. It's not very like much effort to do so. Yeah, this is Baloo's tower. We don't really see him. We skip cutscenes a lot. Although I found out today, actually, for the first time since running this game, that if your gems in the Yeah, that's fine. Did you want me to just get through the 2.25 minute cutscene just so that it's not? Yeah, sure.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We'd like to say a very gracious thank you to the generous donation from players A and B who donate $100 and say, great stuff so far. Let's get that bonus Super Mario World run from Frozen Flagon. Thank you very much. We've got a $15 donation from Antha who says, putting this towards the 11 exit bonus incentive. Let's go! We've got a $25 donation from Fierce Wolf who says, a little known fact. 1 Phantomile is equal to approximately 1.6 Phantokilometers. Good luck and have fun all, and let's get some more Super Mario World. Did you know the Yeti is donating $5 per Frost Fatale shirt sold to Malala Fund? We also have a Frost Fatales event pin available, a first for Frame Fatales events. You can find these and more at theyeti.com. The Yeti has donated over $2 million to GDQ charities, so check them out. If you want to know more about our sponsor, about our charity, Malala Fund is working for a world where all girls can learn and lead. Malala Fund advocates for resources and policy changes needed to give all girls a secondary education, invests in local education leaders, and amplifies the voices of girls fighting for change. Learn more at malala.org. We've got an anonymous $25 donation with no comment, so thank you very much. Do you want to know more about the other shows that occur on the GDQ network? Frost Fatales and other hotfix events and shows are brought to you by viewers like you. Your subscriptions and bits help keep the channel running for these fun events, including shows One and Doneathon, Unapologetically Black and Fast, Time Capsule, Mercy Kill, Tina's RPG show, I guess, Legally Cute, and more. Right, we're ticking up more towards that Super Mario World 11 exit run. We are just under $1,800 out of the $6,000 needed to make that happen. So if you are thinking about donating, it's a great time to remember to assign your donation to those incentives. So not just the 11 exit run, but some of the other bid wars we've got going on right now, whether we should save or ditch Yoshi, for example. And let me tell you, everyone, Ditch Yoshi is currently in the lead by quite a bit. So if you want our green friend to be saved, it's time to get those donations in and remember to assign to that incentive. All right, now we are ready to resume our run of Klonoa Door to Phantomile. We're seeing the any % run by AilisNoon, so I will hand it over to the team.
Hello, getting back into it. Just some technical difficulties there, I think, but ready to carry on with it. If we're ready to restart the timer, then I am good to go. So ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go. So, one of the things you're going to notice me doing quite a lot of with these enemies is grabbing them. So, rather than having a conventional attack in this game, your kind of way of interacting with enemies is to grab them. So, when you grab them, you can either use them as a weapon or you can use them for a double jump. And the double jumping is going to be used for like a bunch of different skips later on. It's kind of meant to be used for like intentional puzzle solving, but instead we're just gonna, carry on, it's kind of skipping over those puzzles. We don't really need to do them. They're more of a thing in 100%, but in any percent, we don't really worry about them so much. I'm quite curious actually, because Nally, you run the Wii version of this game. How many of these like skips carry over to the Wii version? Is it quite similar or quite different? Yeah, that's fair enough. And that's one thing as well, even between versions of this game, because this is obviously the PS2 version. And even though it's the same game files on the compilation disc, for some reason, a lot of the bosses function differently between this and the PS1 original. So it's a very odd, like, combination of things. Coming up here, we've just got a small auto-scroller. So as mentioned before, this game is 2.5D, and they try and show that off in like the auto-scroller sections where even though you're on a 2D plane, you're moving through a 3D space. There's a few skips that we can do that involve that. Some of them are very small. You've already seen me do one where you just like cut a corner. So there's a corner around 2 different 2D planes, and you kind of just jump up to the next one. Some of them are quite a bit bigger. We can talk more about them when we get closer to those sections of the game. Oh, that's a nice little save. That's just, like very small, but getting up that wind thing in one jump's quite nice. And yeah, we've got a little bit of walking, so if there's a donation or two, we can probably fit them in here now.
All right, just a reminder, we do have a few bid wars currently ongoing. We've got the Nier Automata pod skin choice. Now, if you have strong opinions about that, Grimoire Vice is currently in the lead, and Cardboard and Retro Red are straggling a bit behind. So if you're interested in seeing one of those pod skins, this is the time to get your donations in and make sure to assign it to those incentives.
So we're coming up on the first boss here. The way that every stage in the game works is we have 2 like stages and then a boss. This first one here, you really want to enter it with full health because we're going to take a lot of damage boosts, and I frequently finish fights here with 1 heart left, so you have 6 hits before you die usually, so need to be quite careful. Case in point, I just took 2 there where I could have taken 1. Wait for him to turn around. Oh, okay, this is a bit dodgy. Okay, no, I'm just going to play it really safe here. There we go. Slightly safer on the last hit. So yeah, you can see how being inside that boss's hitbox is not where you want to be. You can take a lot of hits very quickly. So yeah, just playing a bit safe there. But you can see now, if I'd had even 1 less heart there, that would have been a death. And this game can kill you very quickly sometimes. So coming to 3-1, we want this Moo here. There's a lot of strats in this game that involve literally just taking enemies to areas that the games wouldn't expect you to, or like expect you to carry things over. Oh, that's bad RNG though. So that guy there with the spike balls, complete RNG where they go, and they destroyed the Moo out of my hands. Very annoying. I was going to use him to do a small optimization with a double jump, but missed out on that, unfortunately. That Moo there, though, we did manage to use for a little jump, so that's pretty cool. Inflate this guy. He's a big lad. And yeah, as I said, there's really like not a huge amount that goes on in the first few stages of this game, and then once you get to stage 3, things start to get like very, very different. Very small thing there. Just oh no, never mind. God, the game's being very mean to me today. So in this room, we're kind of chasing a cycle the whole way through. There's a leaf at the end that's going up and down, and we want to try and catch it on the way down, where it's just at the perfect height to be able to use as a platform to jump up. So there we go. That's the leaf cycle. It's surprisingly tight to get that. The rim obviously doesn't look like too difficult, but it's very easy because on this game as well, like slopes have a massive habit of like being very slippery. If you're running down them top speed, you need to like know when to stop, how to stop, like all that kind of thing. So now I want to carry this guy, and there's another plane jump that we're going to do up here. So we want to get our jumps right through here. Oh, and I lost him. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So we could have cut that corner here. Unfortunate, but again, that's not a huge time loss, so not too stressed about that. And we're finishing up stage 2-1. And then, like, the story at this point is kind of very simplistic. So we've obviously, like, fought the first boss, and we're kind of like, what are they doing? And the forest is all dying, and we worked out that they've made this waterfall travel the wrong way. So now we've come to this completely amazing zone that I love, but we only ever see this environment once in the game, which is unfortunate. Skipping a cutscene here. So there's another small plane jump here that we get to do. There's this guy, and if we damage boost through him, we can grab him. And then come through here. And then we'll grab this enemy on the way back up, and straight up here. Easy peasy. So in this room again, we're on another cycle. And there's a lot of cycles involved in this game. So what we want to do is grab this guy, double jump, and straight across there. Lovely. So that cycle just makes it nice and smooth. And you want to carry this guy out here so that you don't have to go down and get that moo. So it just saves a small amount of time with this section. Okay, we've got spike balls here, just nothing to worry about too much. And again, so there's another like cycle-based thing here. Lots of cycles in this level. Because we want to carry this guy and plane jump just around here. Also, a weird quirk of this game, I'll see if I can get it actually. Oh, we did, cool. So for whatever reason, it's completely RNG if just walking off the end of that platform goes down onto the next one, or whether you fall down. It's like completely indeterminable. You just have to kind of hope. You can normally just jump and it doesn't lose much time, but it's just like a weird optimization that just sometimes doesn't function properly. Oh, taking a couple of hits there. Lots of damage boosts in this run. We're just doing a bit more platforming, so if there's a couple more messages or anything you'd like to read, now would be a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We've got a $25 donation from Dolphin Chucks, who says, Wahoo! Wahoo! Wah, 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 wahoo!
That's a lot of wahoos.
It's a lot of wahoos. Klonoa and Super Mario 64 seem to have similar speech patterns.
It's the 2D platform away. This is Pamela. I'm going to let Nally go through what's going on here, because I'm going to concentrate on this. This boss is quite mean to me sometimes.
Okay, so Cursed Pamela, I think, is a very fun fight, but it relies quite heavily on RNG. There aren't really moves here, so we actually have to use Corrupt King Seedoff to damage Pamela. He's the small guy sitting on her back who shouts every now and then. So, like I said, a bit of RNG dependency here. The best possible scenario is for Pamela to keep jumping as much as possible over the ring platform Ailis is standing on so that she could grab King Seedoff and throw him at Pamela. Worst case RNG is Pamela will kind of blow bubbles at you and really rub some salt and lemon in the wound that could be this fight. So
yeah.
One more hit here.
Please be nice. There we go, got him. Yeah, this fight has like really, really horrible RNG, but then the execution of grabbing him off the back isn't too simple either. So that was actually a very smooth fight. I'm quite pleased with that. I've had some shaky bits at the start of the run, but hopefully now things will be a bit smoother. And yeah, 3-1, as I mentioned, this is the stage where things start to get a little bit more kind of unconventional. Also, I just love how this stage looks. And the music's great as well. This game has some like really nice music.
Such a good track here.
Definitely. Annoyingly, one of the worst bosses has one of the best soundtracks, so we'll see him soon. So here you have to run over to that platform to spawn these enemies, because it's meant to be like, oh, so you tried to go the right way and you can't do it, so we've tricked you, haha, but I still have to do it even though I know exactly what they're doing. I need to be careful now, because this is probably the room where you're most likely to crash the game if you pick up too many gems. So I need to make sure I don't pick up a bunch of extras. It should be fine. I don't think there's enough gems to actually trigger it here, but in theory, if I crossed over to 100, there's a high chance I could crash the game, so let's not do that. Here's just like trying to catch a little cycle, so grabbing the key and getting back around here before this platform moves. Movement in this game is actually very like, it's kind of like interesting because it's seemingly so simplistic, but then there's like very small like nuances and optimizations that you have to make. And this is going to be our first stage, our first room as well, where we're going to see some glitching going on. So I will let Nally kind of explain what's going on with this, because I'm going to concentrate on it.
What is going to be happening here is a little bit upward. We're actually going to see a
Messed it up, unfortunate.
You would have to pick up a moo and throw it at the box in order to get the key in order to proceed. It saves a couple of seconds, I would say, 12, 14 seconds? But you have to angle Klonoa in a way where you're sort of clipping through the wall to your left, and you throw the moo, because you're not actually supposed to throw the moo at the box at this angle. It's sort of out of sight.
Yeah, so what it wants you to do is just walk around and hit it from the other side, but we're just going to ignore that. If the game's nice to me, though, there it just decided to push me all the way through, which is kind of bad. That's better. Oh, just missed it. This doesn't save that much time, but it's cool, so I want to show it off. If I don't get it this time, I think I'll just walk around, but... Oh, yeah, I'm just going to walk around now. That's so annoying, though.
It's a tough one, because there's, you know, the emptiness right below you.
I want to show off the cool things. That's, like, very unlucky as well. Like, getting it in the exact position that it drops you through, because normally it would put you in the right spot, and then it would all be fine. But, never mind. So here you can just run around this way instead. Grab this guy. So you can see how little time that trick actually saves, but I wanted to try and show it off at least. Would have been cool. Grab him. So yeah, you can hit it from all the way over here, basically, which you're not supposed to be able to do. So the next room has probably like the worst wall clip. This one is just... I don't even begin to know how to explain what's going on with it. It's very frustrating. But it also allows us to carry a moo into an unintended area as well, so that will be very useful in itself. So you can see over there, there's a key. We are not going to get that key. Instead, we're going to head straight down this way. And grab this guy. So this door here. Yeah.
This is what I was explaining before with the wall and door clips. So what Ailis is trying to do is she is actually holding down on the D-pad, tapping left in order to push Klonoa and the moo slightly into the door, but moving one tap to the right in order to clip through the top of the door and get to the next area.
Yeah, it's very, very awkward. The game only checks for collision every other frame, so it's like you can just sneak through things. So this moo is now going to be useful for the next screen, but we're in an auto-scroller that's full of spikes, so we have to stand in very specific places to avoid that being a problem, because this thing will like explode, like given like the easiest opportunity. So the most annoying part of it is this circle right here, because you can't jump through it, so you have to get damage boosted to the left specifically. Because for some reason, you can stand on the very far left there and get through. It doesn't work if you stand on the other side, and it doesn't work on the first one. So now I've got that, it should be relatively simple. You can kind of see as well the game was not planning for us to have this move, because this doorway is in no way big enough. But we can still go through, and it was all to break this box, basically, because otherwise you'd have to wait for this guy to spawn. It takes a lot of time to wait for him. You've got to come down here, knock it, do it again, so we can just bypass that by carrying that move through. And you need it for the door clip anyway, so you already have the move. It just makes sense to keep it. Over here we have a big guy. So this is kind of like one of the intentional uses of the 2.5D aspect, is puzzles where you have to push things, like throw things into like the foreground or the background. Take this guy with us. Another small like optimization here as well, just being able to double jump straight up here. Oh, there we go. Bird trying to dodge me. It's not okay. And there we go, that's 3-1. So that's one of like the biggest reset points in the run. Both of those clips can just end your run immediately, so I gave the first one a good shot, didn't quite work out, but it's all fine. 3-2 is like a relatively simple stage in comparison. It's got a really cool soundtrack again though, and the boss for this stage is very annoying. No one really likes the boss for this stage. It's very horrible.
He's pretty awful.
So the whole like theme of this is that it's like everything's kind of powered by clockwork. but at the moment the big water wheel that turns the whole thing and gets everything moving is turned off, so we need to go around the map and reactivate it so that we can get to that top section up there. If we could get a moo in there, we could skip that whole thing. So if anyone feels like looking for some glitches in this game, please do. If you find a way to skip like the whole of 3-2, that would be lovely.
Well, actually, you can do that in the Wii version.
Oh wait, can you?
It is. It's a possibility where you can clip the moo underneath the door and just carry him through, get onto the belts, and that's it.
That's not fair. I want to be able to do that. Nice bit of movement there. Slip straight under that guy and then grab the monkey. Cool. These little clocks are checkpoints, by the way. Normally you wouldn't need them because if you die, then your run's kind of dead anyway. But I'm just grabbing them for the marathon. They're not like speed tech per se. It's just so that I'm a bit safer. There is actually one point where a checkpoint is speed tech though, but that's coming up in a couple of levels time. Also, you haven't really been able to see like the enemies so far, like the main bad guys, because we just skip through all the cutscenes very quickly. But at some point you'll see them. There'll be boss fights, and they're quite something. Here we have like a small timer puzzle. It's meant to kind of... That door shuts very quickly, so you have to use these little exploding enemies to kind of time it. And this is kind of the first time where the game puts the idea in your head that you can use multiple enemies to do multiple jumps like that. So we're going to use that mechanic to do a bunch of like unintentional stuff later on. Right now, obviously, that is intentional, but there'll be stuff later on that's like very much not what you're supposed to do. Just get that guy out the way. And we're straight into here. I'm just going to be running about in this like water wheel section for a while. So if there's a couple of messages or anything, then feel free to read them. We're not going to have as much time later on in the run, so.
Absolutely. Chat, get those GDQ faith pops in chat because we have a $250 donation from Jules. With no comment, thank you so very much for your generosity in supporting this event and Malala Fund. We so appreciate that. We've got a $25 donation from Karaga13 that says, donating to make sure that sassy book accompanies 2B.
We could probably get one more, I think.
All right, just a quick update on the Super Mario World 11 exit run. We are just under $1,900. Oh, we just passed it, as a matter of fact. So just almost at a third of the way to what we need to make that challenge happen. So let's go ahead and get those donations in.
Amazing stuff. So yeah, we've gone through like the kind of clockworky bit. There's one ascent up here that's like kind of... You're kind of chasing a cycle here again. There's lots of cycles in this game, so you want to get over these spike balls like efficiently, and then you want to just sneak under that one as it bounces, and then that lets you run all the way down here. And also, I haven't mentioned it yet, I think, but jumping up slopes is like a tiny bit faster by like a number of frames, so over the run you can save like a second or two just by jumping up slopes, which is kind of neat. So this boss, this is Gelgbolm. He's the worst. I need to concentrate. Nally, please tell everyone about Gelgbolm.
Sure thing. So, don't really know what he is. He's like a druid chain chomp who occasionally sounds like a cowbell, but it's very angy, and he will get even more angy the more damage that we do to it. So, Gelgbolm, I think, is a pretty consistent fight, but in order for it to be consistent, your positioning has to be a little bit precise. Ailis is going to be picking up some moves and throwing them down onto Gelgbolm in order to damage him. It has a few attacks, a walk, a charge, and then it rolls spore meteor things at you. In the middle of the fight, Ailis kind of wants to try and be behind Gelgbolm, and then it rolls the spore meteor thing. You completely avoid that and you carry the move over, but a safer strat is just literally melting it with moves.
So that was the fastest Gelgbolm you can get. That was pretty nice, actually. I'm pretty happy with how that went. So Gelgbolm like has like very odd hitboxes on the NAM collection and the PS1 version as well. So not as cutscene skip. So it's like, for whatever reason on the NAM collection, the way that you hit the boss is different to the PlayStation 1 version. So it's like, yeah, it's a whole thing. There's no real easy way to practice it. You just kind of have to do it. So this is 4-1, and this skip is kind of another one of these wall clip ones. You have to be very careful that you don't fall into the abyss, though, which is not... I mean, it sounds not good, and that's because it's not good. There we go, cool. So that's the first bit, but then the second bit in this stage is kind of using more intentional mechanics. So I mentioned that we can do double jumps in weird ways, and this is going to be like the biggest example of that throughout the run. So Nally, if you want to kind of explain what we're going to be doing when we get there, because it's horrible.
So we're going to be coming up to a section here where Ailis is going to be sort of trying to be relying on a cycle in order to jump all the way up to basically the end of this vision. So she's going to be grabbing a moo, a flying moo that is, going up and around, and she's waiting for a cycle in order to get to that higher platform.
Oh, I got it first try.
And
Let's
that
go.
was great. Awesome.
That is very difficult because you're waiting on those moves to spawn in certain ways. There's so much that can go wrong with that. You need to like one move to die at the right time so that it respawns, and then the other one has to respawn after. And if one bit goes wrong, it spawns the wrong move first, and then you just end up getting completely wiped out. So yeah, this is 4-2. This is very, very short and snappy stage. Actually, no like glitches in this stage either. It's played intentionally, but it's just a very short stage in general. And the boss for this section has like the best music. I love the boss for this.
It's great. Amazing.
You can save a little bit of time as well. If you run forwards while you're on the waterfall, it's just like slightly faster. It kind of adds your running speed to it, which is quite nice. Huh. My game has just crashed for some reason. Might need to go to a quick break to fix that. I mean, I'm just gonna carry on getting it set up, I guess. So that was unfortunate. Luckily, I do have a save on my memory card that I can just go from, and we can use that instead.
While Ailis is getting set up to start this part of the run again, just want to read off a quick donation. We've got $25 from EDL666, who says, "Go Ailis! I'm so glad I managed to catch Klonoa. Love this event. Good luck, Fatales." We've got an anonymous $25 donation with no comment. Thank you very much.
Okay, are we good to go now? I think we're good to go. So, 4-2, we're back. Hooray, we made it. So this stage is just kind of damage boost central down here. You can get through without taking too much damage, but it's still very frustrating. There's damage, there's like health right at the start though, so it's not too bad. Oh. Let's carry this move through to grab the health. You do want to save your health here because one thing that does come into play is the fact that you carry health from the stage before into a boss, so ideally we're going to keep health going. Anyway, game didn't crash this time. Fantastic. Here we just take a small damage boost to grab this guy. And carry a move all the way through here to get to this button. Easy peasy. Also, this guy's hitbox doesn't really work. You can kind of just run through him. Here we kind of want to get up here as soon as possible because we want to damage boost through this enemy to get into this gap. So we want to get hit to the right hand side rather than the left. So you want to kind of get over him before he's right in the corner. So Not too bad there. Straight up here. Just dodge this guy. Sorry, I'm just concentrating a little bit because my health's a tiny bit low. And then here we just grab another Moo again. Carry it up to here. It wants, basically, every time you see me carrying a Moo from elsewhere, it wants to spawn in another Moo and expects you to use that. But you can be very, very efficient by just skipping those things. Anyway, as I mentioned, very short stage when it doesn't crash. Moving on to the next boss now. The soundtrack for this one's really cool. This is called Palladium Drive. And basically, it has these 8 different hitboxes on them that you have to try and hit with these moves. We can actually hit 2 at a time. So if our aim is good enough, we can hit 2 every single time. The colors on them correspond to different attacks, and those are RNG. So having to deal with RNG is a thing in this. Yellow is the worst one, so hopefully we can avoid this. This enemy is just going to kind of hang around till something kills it. So I'm going to try and avoid it and get the fastest kill I can, even with the enemy hanging around. Yeah, I think he got killed by one of the red things, so not too bad. One more of those. Very efficient boss. There we go. That was the fastest you can get with that fight.
That was a good fight.
At least the bosses are going well.
Yeah.
Klonoa is just proving again that it doesn't want me to run it. It's doing its best to stop me. And we have to not save the game in between stages now. And it's going to make us come back to this menu, so that's the unfortunate side effect of loading a save file to get back to where you were, is that we have to go back to that menu every time now, so I need to remember to do that. Cool, so this stage is kind of, the gimmick for this stage is that there are 4 different orbs you have to get. Red, blue, yellow, and green. The order that you do them in doesn't really matter, you just have to finish with either blue or green. That's like the only, like, tiny time save that you can get in that regard. So I'm going to do blue first. Blue's probably the trickiest one. It involves a wall clip. And you can kind of see there's an enemy just if you do fall down in the wrong place, he does. You that's better. Annoying one. I do the red one next.
All right. We will be right back with our regularly scheduled programming. And in the meantime, I'd like to read a few donations here. We've got $50 sent in from Kyberson, who just says heart. Thank you so much for that generous donation. We've got $25 from Adam, who says, "Hey, Mom, I miss you from downstairs. Why are you up there yelling?" Adam is my dog. And he's very good. Just as a quick update, let's check in on that Save Yoshi, Ditch Yoshi bid war. It looks like Save Yoshi has actually pulled ahead by quite a bit, thanks to some generous donations there. There's still time to ditch Yoshi. So if that is your true incentive, it's a good time to get donations in and make sure you apply them to saving or ditching Yoshi. Currently in the lead for our Nier Automata pod skin choice is still the Grimoire Vice. We've got Cardboard and Retro Red still coming up behind, so make sure if you are interested in seeing one of those colors instead that you get those donations in. A quick note about our charity for the week, Malala Fund. Malala Fund is working for a world where all girls can learn and lead. Malala Fund advocates for resources and policy changes needed to give all girls a secondary education, invests in local education leaders, and amplifies the voices of girls fighting for change. Learn more at malala.org. If you haven't been over to the Yeti yet, our sponsor, the Yeti, is donating $5 per Frost Fatales shirt and $4 from each Frost Fatales event pin sold during the event to Malala Fund. You can find these at theyeti.com, so go ahead over and check them out. You can shop the Yeti's official Frost Fatales 2022 collection at www.theyeti.com. If you haven't taken a look at our prizes, go over to gamesdonequick.com and check out the prize section, including a wonderful print from Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. Make sure you check that out while it's still up. We've got a few prizes that will be available to bid on until Pokemon White 2 closes, so make sure you check them out while they're still up. A few very cool things on there that we saw in the prize segment earlier. So we are excited to share those with you. So get your donations in and you could be entered to win one of those prizes. An update on our Super Mario World 11 exit run. We are at $1,960 out of $6,000 that we need to make that run happen. Just under a third of the way. We're about $40 short of the 2,000 mark. So let's go ahead and get those donations in. And just a reminder, when you do donate, make sure that if you have an incentive that you're interested in contributing to, that you indicate that during the donation process. Just want to take a moment out to remind everyone out there, if you've got a Prime Gaming sub, now is prime time to use that on the Games Done Quick channel. And now we are going to turn it back over to Ailis to continue with Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. Take it away.
Just one moment, sorry. There we go. Hello. Hi. Right. This game does not want to be run today, but we are going to finish a run. We're going to get there, okay? Regardless of what the game wants, we're gonna push through. So I'm ready to go again with the timer. In 3, 2, 1, go. So this is the section I mentioned where you can fall very easily. I'm just going to play it very safe. I don't want the game to tempt fate with how the game's been today. And here is a small damage boost, easy peasy, and we have the red orb. So blue and red, probably the simpler of the two. I think green is the most interesting. It's the most fun. I always leave it till the end as well because it's just more efficient to do that way. Yellow, there's kind of a cool damage boost strat, but it's very finicky. There's a very high chance it won't work. So hopefully we are going to see that work properly. So for yellow, there's kind of the green and yellow ones kind of diverge around here. As opposed to the red and blue, which do it quite a bit later on. There we go. So in this section here, there's a move that I want to grab whilst damage boosting in midair, which is very tough. And I got him. Nice. So that lets you do this jump straight away. So that strat is surprisingly annoying. It doesn't look too bad, but it's just taking the damage boost, not knowing which way you're going to go from the damage boost, and then having to grab him on the way down. It can be very, very frustrating. And now green. So we mentioned before about things being in the foreground and the background. Over there you'll see a checkpoint. So that checkpoint over there is our target. Green's quite a long section. We don't want to do any of it. So we need to grab a moo and bring it out. So we're going to grab this checkpoint just as a backup, and then stand on this platform to get it moving. And now we're going to grab this moo. So the game quite ambitiously puts this block here to stop you from going through with a moo, but it doesn't really stop you. So we can just walk straight around here. And then, whoop, perfect. So by jumping down there, you can grab that checkpoint, death warp immediately, and then respawn on this plane. Much better. And now we've got green, so we are through that stage. Because just through here is just the end of the level. That's a level I used to really, really not like when I started running the game, but I've definitely come to like it more recently. Must remember as well that we have to go... Do not save the game and go to 5.2. There we go. So 5.2 has like this whole like global cycle thing going on. Essentially, it's going to swap between day and night like constantly. During the day, you can pick up enemies, but certain platforms despawn. During the night, enemies become invincible, but the platforms will spawn. So what you want to do is do things kind of like on cycle. So those platforms, for example, having them just there available to me at the time was very handy. And then into here. There's also like a mechanic where like time won't move when you're in these interior sections, but it will kind of flip from being day and night if it's transitioning at the time. So right now it's day, but I'm going to wait because it's going to turn to night, and by going back in and out again, I can force it into daytime, which is what we want to do because we want to get this Moo here to travel up here. Otherwise, we'd just be stood around waiting. So that whole first section's gone very well. I did a wall clip as well, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Just went straight past it, but we clipped through the interior section with that Moo. And coming into this section, we should be just about to go into nighttime. So these platforms should just be spawning in, which is what we want to see. That Moo's just out of the way as well. The cycle lines up really, really nicely. And we want to get across here without worrying too much about it. There is a cycle just here that we want to get, which is this platform, so we've made that nice and easily. It's not too bad at all. Normally it wants you to go and grab enemies to throw at these guys to get them out of the way, but we're speedrunners, we just damage boost. We are not stressed about enemies at all. Straight up there, nice movement. Another thing that'll happen as well is that if you carry a Moo into the darkness, it will instantly despawn. But it just turns daytime here, which is perfect timing, because we can grab this Moo and then break that one down. And make this cycle perfectly. So this is all going very smoothly. And then the last section we need to worry about here is these platforms, which are just turning to dark now, so we can just stand on them as we get there. So that's a very smooth 5-2, actually. This stage can go like horribly wrong. If you make like one mistake and you're off cycle, suddenly you have a lot to worry about. So I'm very happy with how that 5-2 went. My late game is going very well, actually. Despite the game's insistence that I shouldn't be playing it right now. I'm doing my best.
We're pushing along.
Oh, here I want to reset the daytime. So we want to grab that Moo. There's a whole puzzle where you open this gate. But instead of doing that, I need to listen. There we go. So there's a spot here where there's no collision with the wall, and you can just grab him through the wall. So we're going to do that instead. You can just about hear whether your orb is hitting the wall or not. And now this is the last screen of the stage. Mini little auto-scroller where there's fire and lava that'll kill you. It's kind of like the stage that's just like, if you're going to die, you're going to die here, because the game really wants you to die here. Wait for that one, and then jump across. Easy peasy. So we're going to actually meet one of the main antagonists for the first time now. He's been in every single boss cutscene so far, but we haven't seen him because we've just been skipping them. So yeah, Nally, do you want to tell us about Joker and what we have to do for this fight?
Yeah, so Joker, he has one defense mechanism, and that is his like Rayman-like fists that sort of swirl around and repel moves. So what we want to do is Ailis wants to beat Joker in about 3 cycles, so 3 hits as quick as possible for Joker for each cycle to defeat him. The last cycle is only about 2 hits, but unfortunately she can't really do anything to melt him down immediately, because after the 3rd hit, the game won't let her progress until she clears Joker's beast mode. And here you see him turning into, I don't know, a dinosaur-like thing. Yeah, exactly. So in order to clear this section, she actually has to step on all of these colorful blocks on the platform to turn them all yellow again. And once that happens, night turns back into day, and then we can pick up moves and progress with hitting Joka. He also has 2 attacks here. They're fairly easy to avoid. One of them is a swipe, and the other one is a chop, and he'll just do them along the platform.
Yeah, it's kind of like both of them suck in their own ways, because the chop is very hard to predict where it's going to land, whereas the swipe is like, it's fine. It's really easy to see when it's coming, but it also makes all the other moves jump. So if you are stood in the wrong place or like jumping over one as he does it, then you will end up... Oh, wow, just out of range. That's annoying. Get him, please. Okay. Get him. Thank you. This is like the biggest troll fight in the game, honestly. Like, it really very, very picky about where you throw the moves.
Yeah, the hitboxes on his fists are just insanely huge. They look kind of small, but when you throw a move and you clip a little pixel of his fist, you're done.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. Also, with how like the camera works with the 3D, 2D like integration, moving to the left and right can move the camera around in weird ways, and it just like affects the angle that you throw things at sometimes, which can be very, very annoying. Because something that you look at and think that should hit, it actually doesn't, because the camera's tilted slightly to one direction, and then the move just flies off completely the wrong way. Oh, okay, whatever. So you see right there, for example, that move very nearly hit me just because he was swiping, and when he's swiping, they all jump up. So anyway, we're into the final section. This is not too bad, actually. Like, as Jokers go, Amosa, who's a fantastic runner of this game, was in my stream earlier and basically said, like, any Joker where you don't die is a good Joker. So I'm pretty content with how this is going health-wise. So one more hit now. And he jumps, of course. There we go, we got him.
Nice.
So with Joker down, we've only got 2 stages left of the game. Those 2 stages are very, very short. They're not supposed to be, but we have some pretty substantial skips in both of them that we can make use of. I have to keep reminding myself as well that we're running this off of a save file and that I can't just like start mashing the start button randomly. So the whole gimmick with this stage is there are 4 different crystals. Each one removes one of these totems and opens up new areas of the map to progress through. However, there's one section where turns out if you can get a moo into it that you're not supposed to with a wall clip like this, you can just kind of... I say that, I'm not getting it right now, but there we go, cool. You can just kind of go to the end. This is like the most tense part of the level, when you've got the moo and you've not used it yet, because if I drop it, I have to go back and get another one. So I need to be sure not to jump in the wrong place. There we go. And now on these platforms. So that basically skipped the whole level. Like, I'm not even joking. That was like the end game, was getting to that platform there. And by taking a moo outside, you can just go straight through and completely ignore it. So that was 6-1. Cool. 6-2 is more of the same. It's another section where they want you to go around and open 4 different doors that are in a sequential order, and we're going to bypass all of that. So just get to 6-2. We can probably squeeze in like one message from the host if you fancy, just while we're waiting to get to that.
Absolutely. We've got a $25 anonymous donation that says, this is for AilisNoon running Klonoa door to Phantomile for us through sheer force of will. Kudos and thank you for the run.
Thank you so much. This has been an experience, honestly. This has been like a test in how does Ailis cope when the game doesn't want her to play it. I've been trying my best. I've been hanging in there. So here we want to grab a moo. It wants you to go over there and spawn this moo in to chase you, but instead we're just grabbing him because you see like this door thing, like this pillar. There's like 4 pillars, and what we're going to do is just kind of clip through the wall and go under that one. So now we're at the last one, right? And this section here is very, very picky. So just wait a second. Jump. I missed the moo. That's fine. We can go again. That's all right. So this one's very easy to reset, at least, because you just go in and out of the door. But what we're trying to do is another set of double jumps where the game wouldn't expect you to. So we grab this moo, and then as it spawns in another one, just missed it again. That's fine. This is like the hardest part for me. I used to like regularly save a minute and a half in this split if I got this trick first try. That's like the kind of relationship that I have with this trick. Give it another shot. There we go, got it. So that was very, very precise, but we skipped the whole stage. That is one of the longest stages in the game, and we just made it one of the shortest. So on to the second to last boss. So we have this boss, and then we have the final boss straight after. There's no more stages. So I'll let Nally talk about this guy, because he's horrible, and we're going to be going through a very early cycle.
He is, yes. So for lore's sake, this is Gaudius. The people of Phantomile worshipped light and dreams, and they rejected Gaudius because he's the representation of darkness and nightmares. Though he wasn't necessarily evil because of that, he chose evil because everyone in the world abandoned him and left him to wallow alone in the darkness instead of taking the time to understand him. So this is, a kid's game, by the way. Gaudius has 3 phases. I don't really know what to call them. There's phase 1, 2, and 3, but I call them moo drops, as you're seeing here, rocket moves, and triangle strategy. Ailis wants to try and skip triangle strategy by throwing a specific amount of moves to damage Gaudius, but not enough to skip directly to that 3rd phase. Ideally, she wants to get Gaudius to about 1/3 of his health and then remain in the 2nd phase for a quick Gaudius fight.
Yeah, so I only got 3 hits in the 3rd run around of the 1st phase there. So ideally you get 7. 6 is fine, you can do it with 6. But it is now kind of more RNG where these moves end up going. So I want to grab 1. Oh, and this is kind of good. No, it's not. I got absolutely stuck there. So he's going to move on to the phase now. Yeah, unfortunate. I'm also on 1 hit, so I have to be very, very careful now. This happens a lot. This fight, you can very easily lose health if you're going for these fast strats. So
yeah, it's
I'm
a very,
very
tough boss
here.
fight.
You can get this early sometimes. It's very tricky though. Where are you going with that? Please tell me. All right. Oh. Okay, we got it. Please don't kill me. Okay, we got him. Oh, that was very tense.
Nice.
So you can see how close you are to hitting those moves. They're bouncing around everywhere. It's pretty random whether they're going to hit you or not. So that was, at least we got through the fight. That was one of those heart-stopping moments. Now we're on to the final boss. This is Nahatom. Nahatom has 3 phases. I'm going to let Nally talk about them because, again, I just want to concentrate on this fight. I hate this fight so much.
So you're probably asking, what's the root of all evil? And it's actually this giant, sickly grape. He's actually a touch more purple in the Wii version, but in phase 1, Ailis wants to load up these cannons with moves and avoid lick because it's super effective and super annoying. He'll literally just shoot out his tongue and try and swipe you, and it wastes a million seconds. So she just wants to pick up these moves, avoid the tongue, and load up the cannons, and that is going to be phase 1.
That was a very smooth start to the phase. We just need to get this one guy now. The worst thing that can happen is that you get stuck watching the lick animation when you've got the cannons loaded, because he'll finish his most recent attack before he gets hit by the cannons. So if he's doing the lick, you just have to sit there for ages. But now we can get on to phase 2. Oh. Once that bit's done, I'm actually kind of chill, to be honest, because the lick attack is just so frustrating to jump over and do well, and that went very, very smoothly. So we take those. And now we're getting slurped up. We are in his core, where he keeps a creepier copy of his own face, apparently. Because where else would you put that, We take an intentional death here.
Yeah, so there's an intentional death to basically skip a cutscene that happens here. This phase is pretty straightforward. You're just grabbing a moo and throwing it at the crystals. There's 4 on this screen. You get all of those as the platform is tilting one way or another. And once you get all these 4, there's going to be crystals that are moving in the background, and you sort of have to position yourself correctly to not slip off the platform while grabbing a moo and throwing it at the crystal.
Yeah, it kind of goes on like a main cycle, but it's kind of, with how variable this stage is, the cycle doesn't really matter necessarily. Unless it goes really well the first time, you just kind of have to wing it a bit. So that first hit there is not too bad. It's this one I find very frustrating to get. There we go.
Nice. Awesome.
Very nice second phase. Nahatom's going great so far.
Yeah. These
Also,
boss
for whatever
fights.
reason, you can't skip this bit of the cutscene. But you can skip that bit of the cutscene. Don't know why. So this is phase 3. He's gotten a bit angrier.
Yeah, he's a little angry. He screams at platforms, makes them explode, and phase 3 also has the nastiest bass I've ever heard in a video game. It is
This
phenomenal.
is sick music. It's so good.
It's similar to phase 1, so you're going to want to grab a Moo and load it into a cannon and repeat. He has a couple of attacks here that we're going to see. One is the screaming and destroying of platforms. One is going to be him shooting moves out from his body. And then the attack that he normally does, which you're seeing a couple of times, is he throws rainbows at you in rings.
Coming up on the last hit now. So time is going to be when the health bar blows up after he dies. So they're all getting ready to shoot. Oh no, there's one more. I didn't see him. Oh, I missed one out earlier. Never mind. We're not on time yet. And I very nearly died. Come on, Baloo. This guy. He's in the story, but we haven't paid any attention to the story, so...
We just
go.
immediately
Now,
skip him.
As I said, time's going to be when the health bar blows up. So you'll see the little thing on the end going to blow up any second. And time! We got there. Hooray! We made it. I'm slightly curious what my time was.
All right, we're going to see if we can get that time for you.
Cool. In the meantime, though, I just have to say thank you everyone for having me. We've made it here through thick and thin, through all the technical difficulties that came our way. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed Klonoa. It's a great game. Shout outs to everyone who runs this game, particularly like Belnor, Mosa, Dilwingo, people that have helped me a lot with like my speedrunning of this game. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Nally, for being here as well. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
Yeah, actually, thank you, Ailis, for having me on commentary. This was super fun and awesome and just a lovely run. Thank you, Frost Vitals, for everything that you do. Thank you to the GDQ tech team. You guys are awesome. And thank you, everyone in chat that joined to take part in our Phantomile.
Also, this final cutscene makes me cry, so we're not going to go much further than this. Did we find out what the final time was, by the way? Yo, so that's like a... So with the cutscene added, that's going to be like a 47, 45-ish. So I'll take that, honestly. Considering everything that happened, I will take a 47. Very happy. My estimate was very, very wide because of how volatile this game can be. So more than happy with that. Anyway, yeah, thank you for having me so much. It's been great. I'm back for another 2 runs during the event, so I'll see you later.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Ailis, for that excellent run. Got a few tech hiccups in there, but our tech team is amazing. So we are excited to continue here with the event. We've got some really great runs coming up for you in the next few hours. In the meantime, let's check back in with some of our donations as we pull up to that 26,000 mark. Let's take a look at that donation tracker. We're doing great. So keep them coming. We appreciate everyone's donations to support Malala Fund, and we are excited to bring you some additional entertainment. Let's take a look here at Jaron's $15 donation that says, donating for more Mario. You can never have too much Jumpman. Moradin sends in $25 and says, go, more GDQ content. Let's go, Frost Fatales. Agreed. To provide you all with a quick update on our incentives, let's take a look at the Nier Automata Pod Skin Choice. Grimoire Vice still in the lead there, and there is still time to get your donations in to meet that incentive or raise that bid war, rather. Will we save Yoshi? Will we ditch Yoshi? looks like right now Save is in the lead. So if you want to say goodbye to the green dinosaur, now is the time to make those donations happen. Don't forget, when you donate, make sure that you apply that donation to the incentive. And we have passed the 1/3 mark toward our $6,000 goal for making Super Mario World 11 Exit Run happen later today. So if you would like to see that speedrun challenge, get those donations in and apply them to the 11 Exit Run for Super Mario World. There's still time, plenty of time left this week, to go over and check out our sponsor, the Yeti. The Yeti has donated over $2 million to GDQ charities and has been an official merch supporter of Games Done Quick events since 2011. So this time around for Frost Fatales 2022, the Yeti will be donating $5 per Frost Fatale shirt sold to Malala Fund. We also have a Frost Fatales event pin available, which is a first for Frame Fatales events. You can find that and so much more over at theyeti.com. That's THEYETEE.com. There's also still plenty of time left in the week. We're only on day 2, folks, to get in your donations to get some of these excellent prizes that we've seen featured during our prize segments. There's a whole list of them over on GamesDoneQuick.com. Go check out the prizes, see some of this awesome stuff that has been so generously provided by the GDQ and Frost Fatales communities. Check them out, see if there's anything there that you like, and I guarantee you're going to find something that is very cool that you can take home. There is a minimum donation for each, so just make sure you check out what that number is, what you want to get, and see what you can take home this year. Once again, a reminder, if you are in the audience and you find yourself having a Prime Gaming sub that is linked to your Amazon Prime account through Twitch, you can use that Prime Gaming sub, and right now would be an excellent time for that. Subscribe to the GDQ Games Done Quick channel, and you too can be the proud purveyor of a GDQ Faith Pop emote, brand new, debuted for Frost Fatales 2022. We are very excited. Let's chomp some RNG. Get that in chat with your Prime Gaming sub. Don't forget, on the schedule for later today, coming up next, we've got Mulaka, any percent. After that, we've got Nier Automata, any percent as well. Following Nier Automata, we've got Super Mario World, all castles. And closing out the night, we're going to see Pokemon White 2 any percent as well. Some really exciting runs coming up, so make sure you all stick around. We are so excited to be bringing some of these awesome runs to you and continue through the rest of the week. This is only the beginning. We are going to see some really cool stuff moving forward. So stick around, make sure you're following the channel. And again, if you got that Prime Gaming sub just kind of sitting there, make sure you use it. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Assembly. Assembly is a digital newsletter and publication from Malala Fund. Co-founded by student and Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai, Malala Fund works to create a world where all girls can learn and lead. Malala began blogging about girls' education at age 11, and today she helps other girls tell their stories with Malala Fund. We created Assembly as a platform for girls and young women around the world to share their thoughts, challenges, and accomplishments, and for all of us to learn about this new generation of leaders. Learn more and subscribe at assembly.malala.org. All right, folks, we are going to take a quick break. Go ahead, stretch, get up from your computers, go grab some water. We will be right back with you to bring you some excellent runs. So don't go anywhere, but make sure you stretch those limbs out. We'll see you very soon. All right, everyone, welcome back. We are getting ready for the rest of the day here on Monday of Frost Fatales 2022. We are so excited to be here with you and benefit Malala Fund, an excellent charity that we are excited to be collecting donations for this year. If you are interested in donating, you can type !donate in chat and get that link. We've got several great prizes that are listed here. So go ahead and check those out over on the Games Done Quick website. A few of them are going to close tonight after Pokemon, so just make sure that you look through all of those prizes to see what you are going to be taking home this year if your donation is pulled. So, all right, taking a look through some of our existing incentives. Let's check in on the status of the Nier Automata Podskin choice. Grimoire Vice still in first place at $105. We still got Cardboard and Retro Red on the board. If you're interested in seeing those, you can definitely donate to meet those incentives. Just make sure when you donate that you are also assigning them to those incentives. Otherwise, they don't count. Super Mario World, save or ditch Yoshi. How do you feel about your green dinosaur companion? Are you going to save Yoshi? Are you going to ditch Yoshi? Currently, looks like we're going to save Yoshi. So make sure if you want to see us toss the dino, you donate to that Ditch Yoshi incentive. We still got some time left to collect that. So go ahead and get those donations in if that's something you're interested in, because that run is going to be coming up before you know it. The Super Mario World 11 exit run is just over $2,000 into the $6,000 for the incentive needed to see that run happen. So if you want to see more Super Mario World in the 11 exit run form, go ahead and donate to that incentive as well. Make sure you're checking to assign that to the incentive, and we will see that met. I am sure of it. While you're checking out all of the other information around the GDQ website, make sure you also pop over to theyeti.com. The Yeti creates amazing merch and apparel for video game culture and has been the official merch supporter of Games Done Quick events since 2011. This year, for Frost Fatales, the Yeti is donating $5 per Frost Fatales shirt sold to Malala Fund. We also have a Frost Fatales event pin available, which is a first for Frame Fatales events. You can find both of those things over at theyeti.com. And don't forget, money from each sale of those two items goes to Malala Fund. So you're contributing by buying merch as well, which is super exciting stuff. We are, as of the moment I'm speaking, $1 away from 26,000. Can we make this happen, folks? So close to 26,000. We have been making amazing progress over the last 2 days, and we are so pumped to see where this goes throughout the week. Just got to get over that last hill. Can we do it? Just a reminder, check out the schedule for later tonight. After the next run, Mulaka, we've got Nier Automata, Super Mario World, and Pokemon White 2 to close out the day. You're going to see a few Pokemon runs coming up this week as well. Tomorrow, Tuesday, March 1st, we've got Pokemon Red happening in the evening. I don't know about all of you, but I personally am very excited for the WarioWare game we're going to see Wednesday afternoon. So there is plenty of stuff to go around. There's something really for everyone here. We've got a Sonic block that's happening on Thursday, March 3rd. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be happening sort of early afternoon Eastern time. A bunch of Sonic games that are going to be played. Very excited for that. So if you haven't checked out the schedule for GDQ, go over to gamesdonequick.com/schedule. Check that out. See what you're going to be looking at for the rest of the week. And folks, just so you know, Frost Fatales and other hotfix events and shows are brought to you by viewers like you. Your subscriptions and bits help keep the channel running for these fun events, including shows like One and Doneathon, Unapologetically Black and Fast, Time Capsule, Mercy Kill, Tina's RPG Show, I guess, Legally Cute, and more. And we have officially passed the $26,000 mark. What an incredible achievement by all of you. Thank you so